Syracuse suffered its first loss by at least 20 points in over 3 years last night when the Pirates of Seton Hall came to the Carrier Dome. It was only the 6th time in Coach Jim Boeheim's 35-year tenure that the Orange lost by that many points at home. Coach Boeheim was not the least bit. And in front of a record 34,616 fans packing the Loud House for this one, a new on-campus record for attendance for a college basketball game. It would not start off well for the Orange as Corey Stokes hits the deep three to put the Wildcats up by 9 midway through the first half, but Scoop Jardine answers right back with a three of his own, made it 23-17 Cats. Scoop Jardine not just shooting though, as dishing on the fast break right there. Chris Joseph with the dunk puts the Orange up 31-30 with 5 minutes left. And then Andy Routens does the same with 0-0. Rick Jackson for the dunk made it 38-33 before 5-5 before halftime. And then less than 2 minutes into the second half, Rick Jackson finds Wes Johnson, who hits it from downtown to put the Orange up 9. But Villanova would not go away easily as Scotty Reynolds would hit a three of his own to put the lead back to 6, but he could not do it himself as Andy Routens would hit his own three-pointer to put the Orange up 59-48 with 16 minutes left to play. Villanova never really the same after that. Routens almost gets another three right here, but Arinze Onuaku helps out his buddy Andy Routens by putting the follow-up slam in, and he wasn't done there as rebounding was key in the second half as Syracuse in a little trouble. Scoop missing a couple putbacks, Rick misses one, but Onuaku, you can always trust him. 2 more of his 17 points right there. And then Chris Joseph with a three of his own to put the Orange up 80-62 as they started to really pull away in this one. And the final nail in the coffin right here would come as 0-0 Rick Jackson once again with the dunk from Chris Joseph. Put the Orange up by 21 with 2 minutes to play. The record crowd rejoices as the Orange dominate and take care of the Wildcats 95-77 and clinch at least a share of the Big East regular season title and improve to 7-0 against ranked opponents this season. Syracuse's leading scorer was Rick Jackson, who had 19 points, but the Orange had 6 players in double figures in this one. Scotty Reynolds with 16 points led the way for Villanova, but it was not enough for the Wildcats, who now have lost 4 of their last 7. Citrus TV's Mike Tressa has more from the Carrier Dome. The men's lacrosse team is off to an 8-0 start after a 13-11 win over defending national champion Duke this past Sunday in the Big City Classic at New Meadowlands Stadium. While the Orange have accomplished a lot, it is only the halfway point in the season. Citrus TV sports reporter Chris Williamson has more on the team's expectations for the rest of the season. Yesterday evening, the number 1 ranked Syracuse lacrosse team ran into one of their biggest tests of the year when they took on 5th ranked and in-state rival Cornell. The Orange had won the last 4 over the Big Red, but they struggled right out of the gate last night. Cornell got out to a 5-1 lead at the end of the first quarter as breakdowns in defense led to easy goals for the Big Red. Tewaaraton Trophy nominee Rob Pennell had 3 assists in the first quarter, and he would later add 3 goals to lead the Big Red with 6 points. The lone bright spot for the Orange was midfielder Josh Amadon, who led the Orange with 5 points as he tallied 3 goals and 2 assists. Thank you, Paul. 2 weeks ago, Syracuse knew the intense game that they were going to be in with arch-rival Georgetown. What they didn't know is that shooting struggles would come back and that the Big East top rebounder would be a non-factor.
We've struggled in. We shot less than 40% and less than 30% from the three. They're going to make shots. I thought we did a good job defensively. I thought it was probably as good a defensive game as we played this year. The first half, I thought the difference in the game, we rebounded the ball, and we didn't do a good job rebounding the second half. Part of that's, Ricky's out for a long time, and obviously that hurts us on the board.
Coach Boeheim had additional reasons why they lost in the team's first meeting also.
You've got to make, particularly we had the lead, we had a couple opportunities, and Chris got out charged once, and Scoop lost one, and you can't do that. Georgetown's obviously a very good team. They played well on the road this year, and we just didn't make the plays that we had to make there at the end.
The players are now out for revenge, but know that their approach cannot be a reckless one.
We're gonna have to just run our stuff, take our time. Right now we're out for revenge on these teams, and we gotta just go out there and play. We can't make no excuses, and just play our game.
After a day off Tuesday, the well-rested Orange now should have their minds fully focused on the rematch this Saturday in our nation's capital. Back to you, Paul. Thanks, Chris. In sports, you go on road trips sometimes for 6 games. Usually that has you away from home for about 2 weeks. Not if you're the women's lacrosse team, though, as their recent 6-game road trip kept them away from Syracuse for 40 days. 40 days later, the Orange are back home for 2 games, and head coach Gary Gait couldn't be any happier to be home. Thank you, John. On December 2nd, 2010, Syracuse punter Rob Long was diagnosed with having a brain tumor that forced him to miss the team's victory in the Pinstripe Bowl back on December 30th. Long underwent his final chemotherapy and radiation treatment today at Thomas Jefferson University Hospital in Philadelphia. Long said in a Twitter post that I feel blessed and amazing. Now to get rolling towards my dreams and back on the field. While averaging more than 43 yards a kick this past season, Long is considered to be an NFL prospect. Having continued his workouts, Long hopes to kick in front of NFL scouts on March 23rd at Syracuse's Pro Day. Thanks, John. It's that time of the year again, March Madness, and for Big East teams, it starts with a week in New York City for the Big East Tournament. For players such as Rick Jackson and Scoop Jardine, this is not their first Big East Tournament, but for freshmen such as C.J. Fair, it is. But it doesn't take away from the excitement that is the Big East Tournament. Up first for the Orange is this season's Big East Cinderella story in St. John's. The Orange defeated the Red Storm back in January 76-59 in a game that was dominated by the Orange's three-point shooting. That was also St. John's' only loss to a ranked team at home this season, but Scoop Jardine knows whether it is St. John's or anyone else that it will be a tough matchup, but he feels the Orange are ready to take on anybody. Coach Boeheim could not have emphasized enough that consistency has been a key issue of late. Keying on his 4 key veterans, especially Scoop Jardine and Rick Jackson, he stated, "They have to show up for us every night. If not, the losing streak will continue for the Orange and the season will continue to spiral." They hope to end the losing streak, though, this Saturday at Marquette. I'm Dan Cordtz, Citrus TV. After what was considered to be the biggest win in head coach Doug Marrone's tenure at Syracuse last week against South Florida, it was the polar opposite Saturday against Pitt as the Orange came out flat. The Orange could not generate any run game offensively, and defensively, Tino Sunseri threw for a career-high 4 touchdowns. Coach Marrone had this to say about the team's performance. The Syracuse men's basketball team takes a 2-game winning streak to the court tonight when their arch rivals from Georgetown University make their trip to the Dome. While the Orange have won the last 7 over the Hoyas at home, they have not won in the Dome in 25 days. Citrus TV's Travis Eldridge has more on the matchup. Thank you, Travis, and as you can see, this is a very even matchup on paper. The Hoyas and their renowned Princeton offense averaging a little less than 2 more points than the Orange overall, but Syracuse's vaunted 2-3 zone allows almost 4.5 points less. While SU has won their last 2 games, the Hoyas have won their last 6. We should be getting a good one tonight at the Dome for those in attendance. And afterward, don't forget to tune in to Orange Press Pass following the game at 10:30. Watch highlights and listen to analysis and sound bites from Coach Boeheim and other players. Johnny Mangano will have your post-game coverage for you. Very defensive first quarter as Rutgers tried to manufacture any offense they could find, but Syracuse was having none of it. Defensive-oriented first quarter, scoreless through the first. 5 minutes into the second, though, Chris Daniello changes that with his first of 2 goals in the quarter. That put the Orange up 1-0. They were up 2-0 at the break. Then Syracuse moving the ball around, and Stephen Keogh will find Cody Jamison for the easy goal right there. That put the Orange up 6-0 in the third. Rutgers, though, would not go away easily as Adam Goldberg, with one of his 2 goals in the game right there, put the score to 7-2 SU. But remember that Chris Daniello guy I mentioned earlier? Yeah, there he is again. That's an unassisted goal to the back of the net, and he wasn't done either, as a minute and a half later, he adds his 4th goal of the game for the Orange to make it 10-4 Syracuse, and that is really all that would be needed for the Orange. So both teams would add 1 more goal to make it an 11-5 win over the Scarlet Knights. Syracuse improves to 10-1 on the year, and Chris Daniello, along with his 4 goals, had 2 assists also. Tim Desko and Cody Jamison would add 2 goals each in the winning effort also. And the second-ranked Orange could be number 1 in the country if Duke defeats the top-ranked Cavaliers this coming week. The Orange lost their regular season finale by 35 points Monday night at Connecticut. While UConn, the Orange have one last chance to secure a tournament bid this weekend in the Big East Tournament at the XL Center in Hartford. The 9th-seeded Orange play Friday at 2 p.m. against Seton Hall, who they defeated 75-50 back in January. A win would put the Orange against Georgetown on Saturday at noon, and many experts feel that the Lady Orange are still on the bubble and need to win 2 games in the Big East Tournament to secure a bid. Coach Quentin Hillsman's team has not been to the tournament since the 07-08 season, in which they were knocked out in the first round. The Kent State basketball job became open after former coach Gino Ford took the same position at Bradley. According to the Post-Standard, the spot will remain open as Syracuse assistant coach Rob Murphy has removed his name from consideration. The former graduate assistant at Kent State confirmed that he informed Kent State athletic director Joel Nielsen of his decision yesterday evening, and also stated that he appreciated the opportunity to interview for the head coaching position there, but that right now he is very happy where he is. After dropping to 4th in the polls, the Orange came out with a vengeance Tuesday night against Hobart. En route to a 13-7 victory and collecting their 24th Kraus-Simmons Trophy, 10 different players scored for the Orange. Head coach John Desko was most pleased with the face-off unit, a unit that had struggled regularly throughout the season, won 12 of 24 face-offs Tuesday night. The Orange wrap up the regular season with 3 games against the Big East, starting this Saturday in Hartford against Rutgers in the ESPNU Warrior Classic. They hope to be 12-1 going into next Saturday when they have a meeting with number 1 ranked Notre Dame. Reporting live from the Carrier Dome, I'm Dan Cordtz, Citrus TV.